Hello Taurus, this is a timeless reading for you. I am using my own tarot cards. In the middle of your spread we have the resistance card surrounded by lack, taking, totality and trauma, and I feel like during this time when this reading might resonate with you, you might become aware of a certain person that on one hand has caused you a kind of trauma. Also, the same personality type, like the person that caused a trauma, the same personality type comes or keeps coming back into your life. Also, the resistance card makes me feel like it is your own resistance towards this certain topic, but you are aware of it already, that you have this resistance and that you have to, or that you want to solve that resistance so that you can experience healing. It feels like you are becoming aware, or you are already aware, but you will soon become aware of how to heal this trigger, this reoccurring trigger in your life when a certain personality type has power over you. This is someone, this personality type, I mean, just as an example, it could have been your father during your childhood doing something to you that caused this deep wound. And then, you have this type of father figure as your boss or as a colleague, someone who is in a higher position than you, and they can abuse this certain influence or power that they have over you. This is what it feels like to me. Or you pick them as a partner or as a friend, or it could even be a stranger on the street. Sometimes we have already seen through those patterns and through those traumas, and then we break up or get a divorce. We sort out friends, like we are becoming aware that there is a certain personality type that just, is not doing us any good. And we should probably stay away from them, from everyone with these certain character traits. So even when we have learned all that and we try to break away from this certain reoccurring person in your life, it's just being enforced onto us sometimes. You can just go outside and someone can just, attack you on the street, not necessarily physically, even though that can also happen, does happen to some people. But mainly, I mean, like verbally, some people, they just want to stink around at strangers. And it could be that, for some of you, this is very triggering when this certain type of personality starts to attack you. There is something about that. But, the main focus is not seeing through this personality type or getting rid of these people in your life. Maybe some of you have already done that. The main focus here in this reading is on healing something regarding your trauma or remembering a trauma. Maybe you are not even aware of a certain trauma. Maybe you remember some situations from your childhood, or I don't know, it doesn't have to be your childhood, just from somewhere in your past that is a little bit far away from your present. Sometimes we forget certain things. Maybe this is something that you suddenly will realize or remember, or first remember, and then you will have this realization that a big and important piece of you is still stuck in this old situation in the past. You had forgotten about this situation, and now you understand. Maybe you have several traumas with the same person in your past, and you remember a lot of things that this person said or did, But there is one specific thing that is very important that will make you able to pull this piece that is still stuck in this past situation to as soon as you become aware of it, you can start to pull it back towards you and fill that hole. In the unconscious position, we have lack. It could even be that for some of you, this certain trauma has caused you not only a lot of resistance, agitations, like triggers, being pushed very fast in social circumstances, but it could also be that, you know, this lack card represents literal financial lack. Maybe you have been struggling with this as well during your whole life. This could also be some kind of childhood trauma, this like some kind of poverty. I actually have a poverty card in my deck, but I mean, it's not here, but lack is similar, but it doesn't have to be literal poverty regarding financial or material things. Lack, you know, it can also just stand, because, you know, the way I drew this card, there is no financial lack here in the card. Though they are two rich women fighting over a scarf while she already has a full bag of scarves, and there are so many more, but you know, it's just not enough, and they have to fight over that one specific scarf. So yeah, this could just mean that there is also something about, I feel like it's about some kind of lack of self-confidence, or I don't want to use this term self-love, but you know what I mean when I say that. This lack stands for some kind of fear of rejection, like being afraid of getting into a fight, being afraid that someone, you know, abandons you. There is something about that here as well. This is still in the unconscious position, but you might soon become more aware of that, or if you're aware of that already, you might have a huge realization about how deep this wound actually is. Or maybe you never thought of this specific topic to be connected to this specific trauma that might come back into your memory soon. We have totality here. So I feel like on one hand, this card is trying to tell me that maybe because there was still something suppressed inside, buried in your heart, or your heart literally like being ripped out. I mean, the guy is still connected to his heart, there's still a cord, but it's far away and it's not integrated. And this totality is like somehow the integration of that. And it feels like maybe a few of you, if you were dealing with something inwardly that you couldn't even put into proper words or grasp totally intellectually, that it made you physically weary. That's what I'm feeling here. Like there is some kind of physical tiredness, wanting to rest all the time, lay down because something is emotionally so burdening and you can't release it because you're not aware of why it is there. Even, you know, sometimes we want to be aware of something, but it's just not coming up into our consciousness. And I feel like this totality is speaking of so many things at the same time. Like on one hand, this lost memory will come back in its totality and complete a certain picture, so that you can have a full picture of yourself, of your motives, of your emotions or your intentions or the reasons why you feel and think in a certain way, why certain people keep coming back into your life, why certain situations are very stagnant, or they just keep coming back into your life, where you find yourself in the same situations. And this totality card also immediately made me think of physical activity as well. It could be that soon you might feel, when there is a huge emotional relief and just this huge understanding that will bring so much lightness and clarity, that you might just feel like you literally want to jump into something, try some new kind of activity. It also makes me feel like it's about focus. Maybe you were unfocused for quite a while. And as soon as you have this understanding, this memory, this full picture of something, this integrity, then you will be able to totally focus on stuff, whether it's a physical activity or it's paperwork, whatever it is. There's this totality card. It feels very complex to me right now. It's on so many levels and regarding so many things at once. It feels just so good and like such a relief. With the taking card, I have a feeling, on one hand, it's telling us that you have to take something back that belongs to yourself on an energetic level, on an emotional and psychological level. Also, there could be a teaching or an understanding here about you becoming more receptive, being less maybe ashamed or something when someone is trying to help you with something or to give you something. And it could also just mean for some that someone is about to give you something, that you will receive some kind of gift during that time. Probably not from this person, but I feel like this could be something that also brings a lot of relief. Maybe if your material or financial situation is tight or has been tight for quite a while, this could bring some relief. Like, I don't know what this gift is specifically, but it feels very practical, something, but not practical in a boring way. You will be happy about it and you will find a good use for it, and maybe you've been wanting it for a long time. And it could even be something that is so useful that you can create something with it. Let's just say it's a camera, then you can make movies. And maybe you couldn't afford it, this camera. Something like that. This is just an example. And it will also, solve this nasty energy, this lingering lack energy. It will loosen this up and give you some trust. The totality card is also about trust. The guy in the picture is just trusting. He's not afraid of jumping into his death. Like, everything is working properly and he knows where to land. So everything is fine. There's something about trusting life again here as well. At the bottom of the deck, we have disillusionment, healing, and soon. Oh, afterwards, there's even blessing and white magic. So this is so confirming here. Disillusionment. So this is just actually a realization. I was talking about it all the time. You will have this realization and it will be such a relief. It will bring in your healing very soon. And the blessing and white magic is just, even deeper than healing. And then we also have the card birth. So this is just a new, not a new, but a rebirth for you. As I already said, it could even be physically that, some old tiredness or heaviness, physical heaviness is fading out, and you might feel like naturally more active, not because you have to force yourself. You will just feel like running around or walking around or whatever, jumping around. So this is a quite good reading, actually. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.